Hello everyone, so welcome back to the SQL section of Data Engineering with Animesh. Today we are going to solve our 11th question in the SQL series of LeetCode programming. So let us move directly to the question. So the question is monthly transactions 1. It has one table known as transactions, and let us go through the table. So first is the ID. There are 5 columns: ID, country, state, amount, and transaction date. Where ID is the primary key of this table. Okay, the table has information about incoming transactions. The state column is an enum of type approved or declined. So maybe it would be telling if a transaction is approved or declined. Write an SQL query to find for each month and country. So for each month and country. So what this helps you to figure out that we have to group by month and country both, because for each month and country you have to find out whatever it is going to ask. The number of transactions means count of transactions, and their total amount means sum of total transaction. The number of approved transaction, so again count of the transactions which are approved. So how you will take this count of the transactions which are approved using case statement, right? And their total amount. Okay, so total amount of approved transaction. So again, a basic question, but number of ask is more, so it might appear as confusing, but we will take care of that and return the result table in any order. Okay, so let us go to the example of the query. So this is a transaction table which has 4 ID: 121, 122, 123, 124. So countries US, 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 and DE. States are approved, declined, approved, approved. These are the amounts and these are the transaction date. Now, first thing you have to notice that in the output, only year and month are coming for from the date part. So you have to take care of this. So first point of a solution would be this, that you have to convert this full date into year and month format and then group by this. So if you see 2018-12, we have two entries for this. Hence, there are two transaction counts. Approved transaction is 1. Total transaction count is 2000 plus 1000 is 3000, and approved transaction count would be 1000. Okay. And for other to date, we have for other to date and country, we have 1 1. So we have to group by both month and country. So that is why we will take both into account. Okay. So first thing we have to figure out how we can cut this date part. Second, we are clear that we have to use a group by from both country and date. And then we have to calculate sum and count using case statement. So let us go directly to the coding part and let us code this. Okay. So from transaction, this is the main table. Then group by, oh, sorry. First is date. So trans, or they have used month in the output. So month, comma, country. Now how you will select this only year and month part. Okay. So see, this is the function which will help you to do this date format. So I will just quickly select this, select date format till as. Okay, copy and paste. Select date format as month. Here, see, date will be transaction date, the column from which we have to extract, and year and month. The values that we want to extract is given by this clause or this second parameter. So date format is month, the second column is simple country. Okay. Now you have already used group by month and country. So how the group would be formed, that for one group would be with ID 121 and 122. One group would be with ID 123 and one group would be with ID 124. Now you have to, how you will find the count of total transaction? Just do the count of state. Okay. So with the count of state, you will get the uh, total amount as total transaction count, because if you draw a line uh, till here, so there would be two states, which are means two transactions count, because two time transaction has been made. So count of state as trans count. Okay, so just to check, I will run this code till now to see if there's any mistake in the logic. Test.transactions, is it? Okay, transactions. I That what I prefer. If the option is available, I keep running my SQL just to check if I'm going right or wrong. Don't worry about the wrong answer. Just see your output. So see, yeah, I got what I wanted. Transaction count is 211, and in the output also the transaction count is 211. Okay, so my till now my logic is correct. Now you have to see how many approved count of transactions. How many transactions have been approved. So whenever we have to decide the further action on the basis of a value of a column, we go for case. So case when state is equals to approved, then one, because we have to count the number of approved transactions. So one, else zero, and end. One thing we have to sum this. Every time there would be an approved transaction, we have to keep adding one. So sum, जब भी एक बढ़ेगा approved transaction, हम उसको sum कर देंगे एक group के लिए, and that will give the count of approved transactions. Okay, I will check this also before moving ahead, so that if there's any error, we can correct it here itself and don't confuse the coming code. Okay, so see. Okay, so we got the answer. Approved count is 111 and approved count is 111. Now we have to see total transaction amount. So just do a sum of amount, simple, as trans total amount. Got it? And now the last part is approved total amount. Again, just copy this case when state is equals to approved. Only you have to change one with amount, right? Hope you understood this, how to work with case. Because now this time we have to keep adding amount, right? So amount L0, then as approved total amount, right? And I will close this in a sum. Okay, so I think now it should work. We have taken care of each and every column. The output required many number of columns, and that what caused this question to be confusing. Otherwise, it's very simple question. See that it is accepted. Okay, so I think you would have understood how to calculate date or extract date if you have a certain date column, how to extract a certain portion of the date, and then we have did sum using case, and then another sum using case. Here we were calculating the count of approved transaction. Here the sum or the amount of approved transaction. So hopefully you would have been able to understand this question. So I would request to keep practicing, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.